Well, I'm so proud to feature on the Legends of Water broadcast the amazing Fred Wang, who is currently a senior advisor to Water on Demand and happy to join to help the team in spinning off Water on Demand and helping to enable the potential merger with Fortune Rise, along with any additional strategic initiatives which I'm sure we'll get plenty of these. He's got a background of 20 plus years in corporate finance, most recently 4 years in environmental technology. Now I'm going to basically, I want to introduce him to the group, but I just want to make it very clear that we are not able to provide any kind of material commentary on the merger process. That remains something that's private information at this time. And of course, anyone who wants to know more about it should go to the SEC website or FRLA, ticker symbol, where you'll find all the most recent information. With that, I want to welcome Fred. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
The pleasure is all mine. Thanks, Rex, for inviting me on.
We've been working for a little while now, and already I have to tell you that I'm impressed with the sophistication of the ideas you're coming up with. We have a number of bifurcations, and a lot depends upon what we decide to do when, and also a lot depends on actually making decisions as opposed to just letting inertia roll us along, right? So taking control and of the process and making sure we do the right moves. Already, this has been very, very useful having you on board. So what I'd like you to do, first of all, is just tell us a little thumbnail of where you came from, some of the adventures you've gone through, and your most recent experiences.
Be happy to. I was born and raised in China. I came to the U.S. after college and after 4 years working as an auditor for EY. Really came over in the 2001.
That's Ernst & Young.
Ernst & Young, yes.
Not everybody knows.
Okay, sure. One of the big four. When I started, it was the big six. Now it merged and merged. A lot of these things have changed. But anyway, so I came here in 2001. Finished my business education with UVA, Darden Business School. Loved it until now. First job out of business school is really with Capital One on their M&A team. So did one of the largest deal I've done so far. Actually, it's my first deal there, which is the acquisition of the Hibernia Bank. Capital One was back then was still a credit card company, and it constantly want to grow and needs funding. Having a traditional bank on the right side of the balance sheet always makes sense. And we spend 1 year working night and day on looking at all the potential candidates, screen all of them, and talk to all the potential investment banks in Wall Street, and eventually did one that was available to sell. It wasn't our first choice, but it was the one that's available then. And we're happy we did it, because after that, Capital One really successfully converted from a monoline credit card company all the way to a corporate finance / much bigger entity. And after which they've done a series of acquisitions in bank space. And then in 2005, I relocated to New York City and has been there ever since. Started with investment banking, actually come from buy side to the sell side.
So for Capital One, your buy side, you were working as the buyer.
Yeah, we are the buyer. Capital One has the balance sheet, is able to fund all these things.
On the sell side means the where you were actually selling
side,
deals,
which is advising companies to raise money or being sold. Good. So that's the sell side. Sorry about my Wall Street jargons, but it's part of the culture now. So working on the sales side, advising all the startup companies in the asset management space, broker dealers, wealth management, trying to find succession plans, and also selling to larger corporations. So we had that for 2 years, really closed quite a bit of deals. Volume was great. Deals are relatively small. So in 2007, I really switched to a bigger platform on KPMG. Again, going back to my roots on the audit route, but didn't do audit this time. Instead, joined their advisory business, working on deals, and much bigger deals this time, and much more diversified with KPMG. Mostly focusing on energy, renewable energy. I spent so much time looking at solar farms and power plants. and together with real estate, asset management, anything that KPMG Advisory can get its hands on, and live through GFC, the Great Financial Crisis, which is has its own terminology now, GFC. And then had the privilege of working on quite a few large real estate turnaround deals, advising the management on multiple deal options, and was glad to see that deal was sold to Blackstone at the sort of the peak, and Blackstone was able to make probably flip in 2 years' time and double their money. So that was one of the best deals that KPMG helped with. And I spent about 6 years there, and really furthered my skill set on all kinds of M&A related stuff. And then in 2013, I left to join Star Companies. It's a company run by the legendary Hank Greenberg, the founder of AIG. And Star Companies are his quote unquote family office. I'm actually more on the investment side. So I work with cross-border deals, mostly with Asian investors within the Star franchise, as well as the ones that Star has done deals with before, advising them on cross-border investment opportunities. So those were the good days when Asian capital are free to come in and really investing all the same areas that there are growth for. So had a really great run for over 7 years there, and closed many deals, one of which is actually one of the biggest turnkey financial management platform. That was for $740 million. That was a very successful deal. They hold it for 2 more years, and they IPO'd it for $1.4 billion. So they doubled the valuation in 2 years. Again, it seems like we are always helping other people to make good deals. And in 2019, 2020 period, I started my own consulting business, really focusing on market entry and fundraise for mid-tier companies. Then I joined LithiumWorks, which was actually one of my clients. Then I was helping them raise money. They have practice in it's a U.S. company with manufacturing sites in U.S. as well as in China. So I was helping them on both sides, and the CEO really liked me. He asked me to join full-time as his lieutenant and join as CFO. So happily obliged, not realizing those are the great years for actually renewable energy. So we were really busy raising money for the company, spinning my wheels in 2020, 2021, and did a deal to, finally sold the company to Reliance, the largest Indian privately conglomerate who have ambitions in renewable energy and want to really use this as a launching pad for their efforts into billions of dollars investments into renewable energy. So that deal worked out great for Reliance as well. And that's actually my full-time venture into a renewable and environmental related stuff. My personal interest happens to be in this area, which I believe has all the growth opportunities in the world. Renewable, green tech, we're saving the world, and we're doing all the good things for the environment, but also trying to help our shareholders to make money and reasonable returns too.
We're on the same page. I mean, there's so much exciting stuff happening, especially now that we're starting to leverage things like AI. And then the demands that AI is making on the environment are huge. So this is a time of tremendous inflection. What specifically did you find interesting about water on demand and its potential here?
I think the overall industry in water treatment is very exciting because we know our environment is under tremendous stress right now.
Yes.
Overall, globally, U.S. happens to be on the good side of it. We have a large land mass with a growing population. But nonetheless, if you look at all the details, especially in the southern states, some of the states where water issues has become a problem, how to conserve water, how to make sure that we do the right things to Mother Nature is it's going to be a critical issue. It's already a critical issue. I think it's going to have growingly more importance in people's daily lives and impacting people. So that's why I think where we can do good, but also make decent money.
The important thing, of course, is that there's a tremendous amount of other great deals, quote unquote, out there. And so there's an opportunity to do more than just double your money if you're going from small to medium to large. So the what I noticed after the election was that the small caps really started taking off, and I think that there's a sentiment that was not in place in the Biden administration, which favored large cap companies, big players.
Right.
There's more opportunities for the smaller players to jump in and provide absolutely essential services, as we believe we are with this water as a service, right?
Yes. Yes, I think the deregulated water industry is the way to go, in my view. It's very much comparable to the renewable energy space that I'm in now, in which sense you're looking at solar farms together with the battery storage, and you almost create a grid by itself. You are removing the demand off the grid. And we all know U.S. grid is sort of old. It's underinvested. It's has a lot of problems. Whenever there's a storm, there's a rain. People went out of power for days, sometimes weeks. So the idea is to diversify the demand, diversify the generation, so that you have a more robust mesh network. I think the same concept can be applied in the water space, whereby right now, more conventionally, all the waters are being treated centrally by the municipal government. And but going forward, each entity, real estate development, microbrewery, all the water using enterprises may need to have its own water treatment on site, which are smaller scale, but with the improvement of technology, AIs, those technology, actually the efficiency of which actually can improve, because we are designing treatment facilities that are tailor-made for that specific needs, as opposed to aggregate all the various kinds of water into one pot and having the municipal to really treat it at whatever the rate they're treating. So I think the dissipation of water treatment is really the way to go.
Well, you're so right. And it's a really good point you bring up, which is it's very, very hard to modernize a monolithical central system, right? We saw that, for example, in San Diego, they wanted to add desalination, and it became a 20-year project, very expensive. San Diego has some of the most expensive water in the world. And if it had been done more deregulated basis, as you say, there would have been opportunities to do good entrepreneurial things, take advantage of new technologies to reduce energy expense, whatever it was required. And so what you have is the more massive a project is, the more it's going to be stuck in time. It's going to be frozen in time. Whereas we are going to be able to continuously improve with each new site that adopts our. What I love is the fact that you have 20 plus years of concentrated M&A, and all M&A deals that I've ever known, involve staying up all night,
right,
for a lot of days, and it just seems to be the way it is because there's deadlines and so forth. And so, what I love is the fact that you've seen it all. You've seen all the structures. M&A is a lot about being creative to make everybody happy, to make the buyer and the seller happy, because it's like a marriage. If it's not done right, guess what?
Right.
There'll be consequences. So you want to do the best possible deal. Now, I've seen deals where we didn't know that the founder's mentor retired the year after the acquisition, and oops, So these things are very, very hard to uncover. And so I love that you have the deal expertise. We're kind of the mouse that roared in a way, because we're like, the little guy has this great idea, right? But hey, it happened with many more deals like Elon Musk and so forth. You can start small. In the months ahead, of course, assuming that we have, whatever the fork on the road is, I really hope that you're able to work with us to guide our activities and to give us help to really get creative with finance, leverage relationships and create better ones. One of the big problems we have is we're viewed as having come from the over-the-counter world, right? And now we're in the big boys.
Yeah.
Well, we need to kind of speak the language and understand some of the things. And because, we'll be taken advantage of. A sister company of ours got onto the NASDAQ finally. They were doing business to business solar. And they got on the NASDAQ and they took $100 million from a fund. Well, it was highly toxic.
Right.
That fund made more than $1 billion. That company is no more. It's gone.
Right.
And that's the danger, is you can be given money, but it can be the wrong kind of money. And Wall Street, of course, cares about itself only. So I love that you've been on both sides, buy side and sell side. And I like that you've got, frankly, when we first started talking, I like deals, Riggs. I like deals. That was very good.
I do.
Fantastic.
That's the exciting part of it. Yes, I've started, the one 20 years ago, the decision I made to switch from an auditor to, M&A is because I can see that I am more excited by making transactions. Auditor job is great. It brings you into all kinds of business. You can see how things work, but it's really creating new things. Creating mergers and bring companies to new lives that excites me. So it's the growth opportunity in M&A that really bring me on board.
Well, I think we got exciting times ahead of us. And Fred, I'm so pleased that you're here working with us. I can't tell you how much we need your kind of expertise. And I hope that you'll be able to join us again soon.
Okay. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Fred, it's such a pleasure. Have a good evening and talk to you soon.
Okay, likewise. Thanks. Bye.